Okay, up on the save it from the recycling bin healing bench is a 2004 Craftsman 30-inch mid-engine lawnmower. It's actually built by Murray. Mid-engine, I'm assuming it's not because it's sporty, but more because it's a little more of a compact design. It's complete, doesn't look too bad, but when we do crank it over, it sounds like absolutely no compression. So, you know, first thing we're going to want to do is actually check the compression. But so let's crank it over and see what it sounds like. It has a weird clunk there, a weird clunky sound too. So I don't know, maybe we had a busted rod or something else going on. I don't know. We'll start by taking the plug out and check the compression, which I'm assuming is going to be 0. We'll probably get the seat out of the way too, just so it'll be easier to work on. All right, let's see what it's got. 0, just as we were expecting. So we'll start by pulling the head off the thing and take a look inside, see what's going on. I'm suspecting not good. I don't see a hole in the piston, so that's good. Let's if I do see a problem, they all see a problem, I see a problem. Got a busted connecting rod. I'm gonna check the crankshaft. Is the crankshaft spinning? Well, it looks like we had a busted connecting rod. How much damage has been caused, I don't know. So what we're gonna do next is we'll pull the engine out of the thing, get it up on the bench, tear it down, see how much damage was caused. We'll take it from there. Then determine what we do next. If the block isn't damaged, we'll just throw a connecting rod in it and call it good. But usually when these things go, they take the journal out on the crank. But you never know. It's aluminum rod, steel crank. Sometimes we can get them back. Let's try. All right, let's see if it's savable. This case off the bottom. Let's see if see how bad the damage is. Not good. The connecting rod bolt, it's also not good. There's more connecting rod. Alright, let's get the crankshaft out of this thing and we'll see how much damage has occurred. So on this channel, spending money is not fun. So we like to do things as inexpensively as we can, bordering on being cheap. As you can see, this did not end well for this motor. There's what's left of the connecting rod. You can see it's taking it off right there, and also took the lower part of the skirt off the piston. We've got some aluminum fused to the steel crankshaft, and the engine block. There's a couple nicks in the bottom of the bore. So what this all means, yeah, we're gonna see if we can maybe save it. And it's all gonna be completely based on whether or not I can get this crankshaft cleaned up, get the aluminum removed from the journal, and make sure it still falls within tolerances for this particular engine. I did find a used piston and connector rod on eBay for about 60 bucks. Otherwise, we're looking at about $100 for a piston and a connecting rod for this motor. $100, you're getting into the point of, maybe we just try finding a junk motor. But for 65 bucks, we can give it a shot. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually gonna clean up this connecting rod, or this rod journal, and see what it looks like. Take some measurements off of it. If it looks like it's gonna be okay, then I'll go ahead and order that piston up and we'll save this thing. And the bottom of the cylinder here, I can just take and, deburr the bottom of it, and it should be fine. There's no scores inside the piston or the cylinder. I'm not sure how that even happened with that occurring, but for some reason it made it. Let's get to cleaning. Very light pressure. A little bit of pressure. Keep working around slowly. Remember, we just want to take the damaged aluminum off of it and not take any material off the crank. Okay, so most of it's off. We're going to stop there because we're going to want to move to a finer grit as we work our way into a polished level. So we'll grab something a little bit finer We'll keep working our way down till it's smooth. And then we'll actually do some measuring, see where it's at, and then we'll have to polish it. Put a little finer on the 600. We'll clean up with that. I started with 200, went to 600, then 1,000, and now 1,500 it. I can still see some little scoring, little scratches in it. I don't know when I be able to get it perfect, but I don't want to take any more material off than we have to. Right now we've got a minimum spec per Briggs & Stratton for a 1.2478 diameter as the minimum. Right now we're at 1.2480, so we're still within tolerance. So I think we're going to be just fine. So now we'll just get the Dremel out and polish it up and get it as nice as we can. I'll call that pretty good. We'll clean that off and do some measuring and see where we ended up. See if it's actually something, see if we actually saved this thing or not. So it's cleaned up. Meets specifications just barely. Minimum journal OD is 1.2478 and we're at 1.2480, so we're there. It'll work, it'll run. It shouldn't blow up. So we'll get the crank cleaned up and get it back in the engine. Not sure if I mentioned before, but the root cause of the failure was no oil. So check your oils, people. Make sure there's oil and stuff. There's about a cup in this one. Connecting rod dried up, seized the crank and exploded the connecting rod. Let's get back together again. Alright, so the eBay piston has shown up. It looks really good. No scores or scars. The rings are actually, decent to good. So we're going to use those. Here's the old junk. I did check the rings that were on it, and they're actually completely out of spec. The ring gap's absolutely atrocious. So we're not going to use those rings. We'll use this assembly here and get it put inside the engine block here. We'll start getting the thing back together again. See, I cleaned it up. Got everything cleaned up on it. When you got them apart, you might as well clean them. And then we'll start putting it back together again. Alright, piston's in there. Get that torqued up and torque the spec and throw the cam and the cover on it, get back together again. Alright, we'll call the motor done, and we'll call it ready to go back inside the lawnmower. See if this thing will run. Okay, let's install the engine in this thing. It's kind of a pain in the ass. It's very, very tight and confined underneath there, as far as getting the belt and stuff lined up right. So what I've done is I've taken the main drive pulley off the engine, and I'm going to slide the motor into place and then bring the pulley back up from underneath. That's how I actually took it out, so let's see if that works. Alright, motor's bolted back in. Boy, was that a engineering asshole shit piles, what the hell were you thinking moments. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but one of the boulder mount bolts is right up inside of there, hidden back behind the pulley, and I had to use a wrench to get it started, or to tighten it down. Open end, couldn't get nothing else inside of there. Tensioner is obviously as tight as you can get based on the belt. So yeah, jerks. Think before you frickin' design. Alright, rant over. Let's get the rest of this electrical hooked up, and throttle cable and fuel line, and put some oil and see if this thing will run. Okay, we got no spark. Let's dig around, see what's going on. Alright, we got something going on with the grounds of the coil for the kill system, so I just disabled that. Let's see if it'll run. Alright, well, it started, it ran, doesn't sound too clanky. It's got some carburetor issues we gotta sort through, so I'm gonna take the carb off and clean that out, and I gotta sort through why this is grounding. It might be, I don't know, maybe there's another contact in the coil that I plugged this into that's in the wrong spot, so let's take a look at that carb, see if we can get that cleaned up and try it again. Alright, carburetor's cleaned out, reassembled, and put back on it. Let's see how it starts now. I did do some adjusting already on the carburetor to kind of tune it in. We'll see how it does for a cold start. Alright, so it runs good, it actually sounds good, so let's get the mower deck back on it. We do have a wiring issue with the kill someplace in it, so I'm going to check that. I can't start the thing with the wiring harness plugged into the engine. It's grounding out the coil and killing the engine, so we'll fix that, and then yeah, get the seat back on it and we'll go mow something. call it rescued. It runs, starts, mows, doesn't rattle anymore. So now we'll just do, well, the total investment at this point in time is a little bit of silicone, quart of motor oil, and a $69 eBay piston and connecting rod assembly. So we're really into it for probably under 80 bucks to make it back to life. And there you go. All right, we'll call it rescued. Total investment about 80 bucks. $69 eBay piston and connecting rod, quart of oil, a little bit of silicone, and some little bit of work. Mows well, starts well, runs good, runs quiet. Nice little mower. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.